Another day, another delusional take by MMA personality. I I will start this video off, guys, all right, by saying I like Uriah Faber. All right? I'm not trying to throw any shade at him, but in this interview he's done, it was like today or yesterday, he has said some pretty stupid stuff. Now, I try for you guys to sit through these boring interviews of just there's like 10 uploaded every day of just interviews of random MMA personalities, former fighters, and they're boring, but like most of the time they say stupid stuff. And so I'm going to break it down, all right? I'm not even trying to be a drama channel. It's just this needs to be talked about. So in this video, try to stay till the end. There's a lot of good stuff in this where Urijah Faber talks about Sage Northcutt returning, Jon Jones and his pound for pound ranking, the pound for pound list in general, Song Yadong and where he belongs in the bantamweight division. It's also a very delusional take. Ilya, Max Holloway, and much more. So stick around. This is going to be a good one. So we're going to start off and let's just get right into it. But before we do, guys, feel free to subscribe to Gaslight MMA, where we all try not to get gaslit, but it seems like more and more I listen to these interviews, the more and more I get gaslit. I swear to God, dude. All right, let's get into it.
When they get him closest to the title.
Yeah, and speaking of the title, though, I know Umar's last fight against Corey Sandhagen, they're talking about that being the #1 contender fight. So now, with Song versus Umar, have there been any talks about whether this will be that #1 contender fight?
I mean, yeah, if this is obvious.
All right, Song versus Umar. Umar is already the #1 contender. I mean, Sean O'Malley's ranked #1, but right under him is Umar. I'll just keep playing. It gets more delusional. Hang on.
Obviously, a fight that puts you right there. Umar's 18-0, and he's a guy that people are saying Merab's ducking him, which I don't think is the case per se.
All right, right there. So he says Merab is not ducking Umar. Merab specifically took a fight in March. It has been confirmed. There's 12 months out of the year. Merab could fight February or April. What is a couple more weeks? Like, he specifically chose a fight in March during Ramadan. Merab has waited years to fight for the bantamweight title because Aljamain Sterling was the title holder, his friend, his sparring partner. He waited years for his turn. You can't wait a few more weeks until you get into April and Ramadan's over to fight? Are you serious? Yes, you can wait. He did duck. And Urijah Faber just goes off like, oh no, he's not. I don't think he's ducking. He is ducking. He is ducking Umar. And now we're going to get into the #1 contender spot. So let's look at Song Yadong, because Urijah Faber here, who I do like, by the way, I thought he was a great personality in the UFC and helped build it up. But Urijah Faber says this is a #1 contender fight. Let's look at Song Yadong. All right, 28 and run, 28. I'm losing my mind right now. 21-8. Not that great of a record, guys. If we scroll down, this man, this beefy, sexy man here, has not fought since early March of 2024. And it was a loss to Peter Yan. And then before that, he had only two fights in 2023 against Simone Ricky and Chris Gutierrez. I don't even know who those guys are. But then the other meaningful fight was in 2022 against Corey Sandhagen, who he also lost to. And then go right under that, Jacob Rodriguez lost to him. How is this a #1 contenders fight? By the time they fight, it will have been by the time him and Umar fight, Song Yadong and Umar, it will have been almost a year since his last fight. And he's coming off of a loss. It will have been a year and coming off of a loss, and this is a number 1 contender fight. Let's look at the rankings too. So Song Yadong, which is, it just rolls off the tongue. It's a nice name. Is number 8. How, even Henry Cejudo's ahead of him. How the hell is this a number 1 contenders fight? You have Henry Cejudo, Marlon Vera, Davison Figueiredo, Corey Sandhagen, who he lost to, Peter Yan, who he lost to, above him, and then Umar and Sean O'Malley. This isn't a number 1 contenders fight. I understand. Okay, if he comes in and beats Umar, then there's an argument. But we know a lot of fights are flukes, but he's not going to beat Umar, guys. He's not. So, all right, Uriah Faber, Merab's not ducking Umar, which he is. This is a number 1 contender fight for Song Yadong, even though Song Yadong's coming off of a year-long hiatus and a loss.
I think Merab's just enjoying being the champ, but
really quick, he says Merab's not ducking; he's just enjoying being the champ. What kind of a reason is that?
Case per se. I think Merab's just enjoying being the champ, but Umar's being touted as one of the next big contenders for the belt. Song's been in that position for a long time, so
he hasn't been in that position. He just said Song has been in the position of the number 1 contender for a long time. He's coming off a 1-year layoff and a loss. What are you talking about, dude?
But we'll fight O'Malley too. I think a stand-up fight with O'Malley.
And he's saying Umar's been touted for a long time as the number 1 contender as well. Yes, he's undefeated and he's ranked number 1 because O'Malley lost and he's injured. Like O'Malley's number 1, Umar's number 2, but O'Malley's injured and out. He's number 1 now.
And Song would be fun. Fight with Umar. All these guys are, tough opponents, champions, former challengers, and so whatever works.
And with Merab, it looks like he's talking about returning in March. So who do you think the UFC will have him defend his title against first?
I mean, that's a good question. I know from a business standpoint, getting O'Malley in title fights is something that they're going to want to do. I think
not necessarily because it really hasn't been proven that O'Malley sells pay-per-views. So from a business standpoint, I don't even think the UFC. I mean, yeah, sure, O'Malley sells more than Sandhagen, but he's not even a pay-per-view seller. I know I even look like shit right now, guys. I didn't even shower today because this interview has made me so depressed. I can't even get myself to shower today. I can't even force myself to do it.
I think with a win over Umar, could be Song for sure. With Umar beating Song, then could be him. But I think it's probably those 3. There's also Peter Yan and Figueiredo, so that's another one.
Yeah, the guys ranked above Song Yadong. Yeah.
All those are good options.
Well, looking at the match stylistically, Song versus Umar, how do you kind of foresee that playing out?
I mean, there's no secret in what Umar is going to try to do.
Yeah. In other words, Umar's going to destroy Song Yadong.
He's going to try to wrestle, and he's got good stand-up, unique stand-up. He's got almost like more traditional style stand-up. So I imagine it'd be a fight where he's trying to take Song down, and Song's either trying to submit him or knock him out.
And how's Song looking though? Because I know even here in Las Vegas, you guys talked about training tomorrow. Like he's still training really hard, looking good.
Yeah, he's been training for a long time. It's going to be, we're going on like 8 or 9 months, I think, since he's fought before, or that's how long it'll be if you were to fight, in January. So he's always in the gym. It's a tough life, so you have little nicks and little injuries here and there, but.
And obviously Uriah Faber is biased because Song Yadong trains at Team Alpha Male, so he's going to be biased. But saying like coming off a loss and a year layoff, that Song Yadong should be up there for the championship, fighting for the number 1 contender spot is just ridiculous.
But all in all, improving. He's only 26 years old, and the world is at his fingertips.
And you mentioned O'Malley. When you watched the fight between O'Malley and Merab, how did you score it? Because I see O'Malley trying to say how many rounds he really won and whatnot. So what did you make of that fight?
I can't remember, but I do think that Merab won was an overall feeling. I did see O'Malley's thing where he's like, oh, watch the fight again and this and that. I don't even remember at all the fight.
Good fight.
Yeah, great fight.
Hey, speaking of being, at the gym though, Sage Northcutt, it was just announced today that he is released from his one contract. So is there kind of any update on where we could possibly see him next?
I think Sage feels like he wants to be with the UFC. I know that.
All right, so he feels Sage wants to be with the UFC. Sage, if you haven't known, was fighting for one championship because they were paying him more. But the thing is, though, even though they were making more money, they need to realize, and you've heard this from a lot of fighters that came over to the UFC, that they just don't get the type of promotion and notice from the public when they fight in other promotions. And when they come to the UFC, they go mainstream and they get more Instagram followers, more notoriety, and therefore it opens up more business opportunities, more deals, more sponsorships, opens up more doors. So Uriah Faber is about to say that he might make more money in ONE FC, but the UFC, how will you actually make more money? Because if you can get more followers from being in the UFC, you could actually make more money potentially than just getting paid more money in another promotion, just from you being pushed in the UFC and using the UFC's platform. Even though nowadays the UFC doesn't promote their fighters at all.
He was getting offered some amazing opportunities when it comes to the money, but as a fighter, I think his heart was with the UFC, and I'd like to see him back there. I think. All
right, and real quick, sorry guys, I keep pausing this. Sounds like he knows a lot about Sage Northcutt. I forget where Sage is training right now, or I don't know, because I think he used to train with Team Alpha Male, and then he went and trained at George St. Pierre's gym in Canada, and he still kept losing. And but if he's back at Team Alpha Male, he's cooked. He's straight up cooked in the UFC if he's training at Team Alpha Male. I'm sorry, he's cooked.
It would, put a new lease on his career for him and give him something to be excited about. And obviously, Sage is always in great shape, and he's much, much better. What he's focused on the most over these last couple of years is really improving his submission game. I think in his comeback fight, it was a first-round toe hold or a leg lock in his one fighting championship victory. But yeah, I'd love to see him.
Yeah, he got to win in ONE FC with a toe hold. Yeah, champ, future champ right here.
With the UFC.
We spoke about Macau earlier. Yan Chaonan, she will be fighting Tabitha Ritchie.
All right.
And we spoke about Macau earlier.
Apparently,
Yan Chaonan,
Yan Chaonan. I think she was the one who fought the women's bantamweight, the women's flyweight champion. Oh my gosh. I always forget names when I'm recording videos, but the other Chinese fighter, I always forget names. Zhang Wei Li. Seems like a lot of the Chinese fighters fight at Team Alpha Male for some reason.
Tabitha Ritchie in Macau. How's she looking?
She looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, she's like someone that's always in the gym. Get there in the morning, she's already getting a workout, and then she does pro practice, and she's got, a full schedule of just, filling her cup with techniques, and confidence is at an all-time high. Her game is so rounded out since the first time she was with us, and so we're excited for that fight. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I know a lot of fans are looking forward to that one too. But someone very well, Dominick Cruz, he mentioned recently that, towards the end of his career,
I'm gonna let him talk. This dude, I think he's coaching at the PI in Mexico, I believe. He hasn't fought since Henry Cejudo made him bend the knee. He hasn't fought since May 2020. I believe it was May, that was his last fight, was May of 2020 against Henry Cejudo, because that's when Henry Cejudo retired. Let me check this stuff. Let me check this real quick. Dominick Cruz topology. Sorry guys, I'm typing with one arm because I have to Dominick Cruz. Shoot. I'm typing with one arm because I don't have I have to hold my mic. And I'm not even spelling any of this right. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see when Dominick Cruz last fought. Let's see. The Dominator Cruz. Very sexual name. All right. He last fought. Oh. I'm fucking dumb. All right, no, he fought twice in 2021 and one in 2022 against Marlon Vera. Still, that was over 2 years ago. So I at a fight night. That's why I totally forgot about it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's been out for a long time. I'm glad I checked. So he has fought 3 times since 2020.
He would like to fight a few names, and he listed Henry Cejudo.
You guys can all do me a favor and bend the knee to King Triple C.
Jose Aldo or Cody Garbrandt. Which of those names do you think that he should?
All right, guys. For those of you complaining about his tattoo, I know I'm hating on a lot of them today. It's just the thing with Team Alpha Male. This gym, Team Alpha Male. I remember Team Alpha Male back when they had the Ultimate Fighter with, it was like Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw were stealing the show. And I think that was McGregor's season. He was on it in 2015. Team Alpha Male, all of their fighters were in the bantamweight division. So I was like, why is everyone a Team Alpha Male? It's called Team Alpha Male. And why is everyone a midget? And then you get like the hothead Cody Garbrandt who fights in the bantamweight division. TJ Dillashaw, bantamweight division. Uriah Faber, bantamweight division. And then you have Cody Garbrandt up on stage at a press conference saying like, yeah, you cheated, DJ. You're a cheater. You're the one who showed us EPO, man. You're the one who showed us how to use EPO. You were the one injecting us. So, so you have the bantamweight midgets at a gym called Team Alpha Male doing performance enhancing drugs. Should be called Team Insecurity. I always thought that was funny. Maybe the gym has changed and it's actually better now, but I feel bad for Cody because I think his wife left him or something, and the comments were just cooking him. Like, they were saying, we saw that coming a mile away when we first saw this. Like, this isn't a surprise. And this tattoo on his eyes there, on his face, is a direct response from that breakup. This is from the divorce. This tattoo is from the divorce. What I hate more, actually, what's a worse tattoo than this sword that's not... it's not centered correctly on the eyeball for each part, is this tattoo near his ear, because it totally ruins his beard lineup. If he has a beard fade, if he gets his beard faded, which he does, this big dark blotch of ink ruins it. All right, enough about Cody Garbrandt's looks. All right, feel free to call me gay in the comments. I don't care.
Should fight.
Man, those are some great names. I'd like to see him in. I mean, all those are good fights, obviously. I mean, it sounds like he probably wants one back from Cody. You know, I think for me, when he says which fights.
Guys, put down in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. Would you be interested in a fight of Cody Garbrandt versus Dominick Cruz? Because that was a big fight back in, was it? I think December of 2016. I think Cody, that was one where he was like breakdancing against Dominick Cruz and won the title off him back in December 2016. Would you guys be interested in a fight between those two nearly a decade later? Put down in the comments. Would you watch Dominick Cruz versus Cody Garbrandt?
He's looking for, I would say, I don't know, maybe Cejudo.
How do you think it would go this time around?
What happened?
So she just asked him, how do you think the fight between Cruz and Cody Garbrandt would go this time around? And he has to think. But Cody Garbrandt trains that team alpha male, so let's see if he betrays his boy. Let's see. Do you guys think he's going to betray him and say Dominick Cruz will win?
Happened the first time. Cejudo caught him and kind of wobbled him, and he thought it was a bad stoppage, right?
Oh, he's talking about how would a fight between Cruz and Henry Cejudo will go. Sorry. Let's see.
Cejudo caught him and kind of wobbled him, and he thought it was a bad stoppage, right?
Yeah, by Keith Peterson.
Yeah. He said that Keith Peterson smelled like alcohol and cigarettes or something like that, which he does. I know Keith Peterson. Keith Peterson's not a guy that'd be drinking and smoking right before he goes out.
So I say Uriah Faber said some things in this interview that I didn't really agree with. He says that when Henry Cejudo fought Dominick Cruz in 2020, that he's like, didn't Henry Cejudo catch him? And then it might have been like, was it like an early stoppage or something? No. Henry Cejudo connected his shin bone with Dominick Cruz's big head, and Dominick Cruz went down. If you guys don't remember that fight during the horrors of 2020, Henry Cejudo, when Dominick Cruz was doing his woo stuff, he went down like this, doing his normal dodging stuff. And Henry Cejudo just leg kicked him in the face. And he won. And he's saying, like, didn't he catch... What did he say? What did he say? Like, didn't he, like...
Smelled like alcohol and kind of wobbled him, and he
did not wobble him. He did not wobble him. He soccer kicked him in the face. All right. We'll skip ahead.
I know Keith Peterson. Keith Peterson's not a guy that'd be drinking and smoking right before he goes out there.
What does he really smell like? Flowers?
He's a surfer. He's a dad surfer.
We're gonna skip ahead to 12:20.
Surfer.
Cejudo, I mean, cutting weight like that sucks. He's obviously much bigger than he was back then, but...
And before we skip ahead, they talk about the weight cut of Henry Cejudo back down to 125, because Henry was fighting at 135. Henry Cejudo on pound for pound specifically said, I want to go down to 125 because I don't want to fight Umar. He literally said that. And we have Uriah here talking about his boy Song Yadong fighting Umar. And all right, let's go to 12:20.
Like, my heart's going to say Max.
There's been a lot of debate on the pound for pound rankings with Islam.
And I want to really quick add, because he just said, I want to say Max. He was asked Ilya versus Max, and he says Max Holloway. There's this weird thing in the MMA community of fighters where it's like the ones who have seniority or what do you call tenure, they all stick together. So like and I said this in my last video, and this is why Ilya is getting so pissed off. It's like all these legends, they're all picking their friends who all live in the California, Arizona, New Mexico area and train there. They all pick their friends. Like, oh, Max is gonna win. Oh, Jon Jones is gonna win. Oh, they do not pick anyone from Europe. They always pick the same people who they've been friends with because they know they might run into them. They know they won't run into Ilya Topuria. They know they won't run into Tom Aspinall because he's going to talk about Aspinall and Jones, and we're going to hear that bullshit.
Being number one. Now it looks like Alex Pereira is number two and Jon Jones is number three. Do you agree with the pound for pound?
That's always...
And really quick, I want to add, I'm sorry guys, but you need to hear this. For example, Michael Bisping, he hates steroid cheats. He used to, because Vitor Belfort, who had TRT, took his eye, took one of his eyeballs away from him for life. Bisping hates steroid cheats. And he commented on Jon Jones being a steroid cheat. Jon Jones got so butthurt. Jon Jones lives just a state away from him, or 2 states away from him. And then Bisping became a UFC shill. So all of a sudden, Bisping's posting, oh, Jon Jones is a good guy. I met him. I love Jon Jones. Blah, 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 blah. When he used to hate. This is what I mean. It's this group of like UFC legends, and they all just pick themselves to win, and they don't talk shit about each other anymore. Bisping was just an example that annoyed me. How he just, oh, I'm friends with Jon Jones now. You know he's a steroid cheat. He's just like Vitor Belfort, who took your eye. But these fighters don't want to have any back or forth with each other. This is what I mean by they do such a horrible job promoting fights, because a lot of them are fighting, and they do a horrible job promoting fights. You need to have beef to sell a fight.
It's a weird thing, but I don't really care about the pound for pound. But Jon Jones, I mean, he's not lost. Especially if you guys saw, they changed the rule, so his loss is now a win if you take out the downward elbow. I think Jon Jones is probably the pound for pound, but we haven't seen him fight at multiple weight classes yet. I still think Dan.
All right. There's a lot of breakdown here, and he's about to say more. He says Jon Jones is the pound for pound. He's undefeated now because they took out the elbow thing. But even without that 9 to 10, whatever the hell, elbow, 4 to 7, whatever, I still considered him undefeated. But even he's saying Jon Jones is undefeated, so he's pound for pound number one. Umar Nurmagomedov is undefeated. Ilia Topuria, who you picked to lose this weekend or whenever the UFC card happens, I think. Yeah, is it this weekend or next? I don't know. Ilia Topuria, who you chose to lose this fight with Max Holloway, this coming fight with Max Holloway, is undefeated. And you picked him to lose. So by his definition, undefeated, pound for pound, I just named two who are undefeated, and you picked one of them to lose this weekend against a guy who's not undefeated. What does it matter if he's undefeated? He doesn't fight. And he knows he doesn't fight because he just says, and I'll play it back. Listen to this.
Probably the pound for pound. But we haven't seen him fight at multiple weight classes yet.
Yes, we have seen Jon Jones fight at multiple weight classes. What are you talking about? This goes to show that the fight with Gane, whatever, as John calls him, Cereal. That was really funny. He calls him Cereal Gane instead of Surreal Gone, was so insignificant that Urijah Faber himself forgot that John fought at heavyweight already. He already forgot John fought at heavyweight. So he's saying John hasn't fought at multiple weight classes yet. He has. He fought Ciryl Gane, remember? He doesn't remember because it was so insignificant. But yet John's the heavyweight champ, best in the division.
I still think Dan Henderson's up there in the pound for pound.
What? Because he fought at multiple weight classes? Or did he fight at 2 weight classes? So did Jon Jones. So did Conor McGregor. So did George St. Pierre. So did many people. So did Henry Cejudo. What do you mean? Dude. So did Alex Pereira. So did Israel Adesanya. Why he just brings up Dan Henderson for pound for pound list. This is what I'm talking about. If Dan Henderson trained at Team Alpha Male, these guys, that's what I'm saying. They all stick together, dude. They all stick together.
Hey, do you ever want to see him fight Tom Aspinall, though? Because that's what, a lot of fans want to see, but I know...
All right, he's getting asked, do you want Tom Aspinall to fight Jon Jones? Do you want to see that? What he says is just shocking to me.
He's scheduled to fight Stipe.
Jones and Aspinall?
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see all the best fighters fight each other, but is it like on my bucket list? No, I'm not like, that's not what I'm thinking about.
What is on your...
You're not thinking about Jon Jones, the heavyweight champion, versus Tom Aspinall, the other heavyweight champion. I'm not even going to call Tom Aspinall the interim champ. He's the champion, and then Jon Jones is the other champion. You don't want to see that? Unless Uriah Faber's like, he's actually throwing shade right here and he's outsmarting us. Maybe he doesn't want to see it because he knows Tom Aspinall would... I was going to say something graphic, but I'm not going to. He knows Tom Aspinall would kindly take Jon Jones to a decision, let's just say.
Uriah Faber's bucket list. You've done it all.
Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Except, have you done a surf competition?
You know what I did do? I went to Kelly Slater's wave pool. I went to the one in Fresno, which was awesome.
I think the rest of this interview is just nothing.
It's like the ones you see on the cruise ships.
I think they're probably open.
It's crazy.
Pretty sweet.
Do yet that you would like to?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, the rest of the interview, just asking boring, stupid stuff that I do not care about. Yeah. Geez, maybe I should have put this in the beginning of the video because I don't think a lot of people make it this far. But yeah, if you his comments about Jon Jones and the heavyweight division is wow. If you made it this far, guys, thanks for watching this far. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Again, I do not have any hate towards Urijah Faber or really a lot of these MMA personalities that I make videos on. I just the things they say in interviews is just shocking. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying, dude? Yeah. See you guys in the next one.